Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Um, I am here to review P-Valley. I didn't think I was gonna do it, but I changed my mind. But I also want to tell you guys, I am reviewing the show with my two friends over at the Collective Three. I'm gonna put it like up here somewhere where you can click the link and watch us over there. But I'm also going to be doing the reviews on my channel as well. So you can watch me here and then go watch me over there with them. Uh, so let's get into it. Episode one was called Pussyland. I was just like, I already knew we were starting off with some good stuff. All right then. So we have this man. He's sitting at home just looking miserable, and there's kids running around. Uh, there's a birthday cake, and then a child throws up and who I'm assuming is the wife and mother to the man that's just sitting there like he couldn't, like he just wants to kill himself. He doesn't even want to be there. She looks at him like, "You're not gonna help me with none of this?" Like, but he gets up and is like, "I'll be back. I'm going to the store." And it's like, "Sir, you're not gonna help out? Nothing? I don't get nothing from you." Okay, cool. So, he gets in his car and immediately Steve Harvey is preaching at me, and I'm disgusted. I was like, I don't want to hear nothing Steve Harvey has to say. But unfortunately, he was making a point. Steve Harvey said, "We're not asking you to shoot them like you shoot us. We're asking you don't shoot us like you don't shoot them." And I was like, well, a broke clock is right twice a day. So what are we going to do here? Um, so he's driving and he comes to like a crossroad. And on the left, this is my left, there's a billboard of Pastor Thief. And somebody done like they done wrote all on it, like this bitch, like really don't nobody pay her no mind. And then we see this sign that's like twirling, a lit up sign. And so of course his eyes is drawn over there. And the sign says car wash plus hot one plus titty. So of course he's gonna turn to the right, like, oh, let me go over here. Sitting is way much more fun than hallelujah. Uh, and so when he gets over there, it's the Pynk. And the Pynk has a sign that says the Pynk may be closed, but our pussy is open. So they have an outside setup like a car wash where people drive there because I was gonna say men, but men are not the only people that go to strip clubs. So people drive through and the girls are topless and they're washing their cars while shaking their ass. And fall, you see fall. Oh, let me get this out the way too. If you're watching my reviews, autumn is fall. Um, Big L is Suge Knight. Um, Diamond is Fake Drake. Andre is Fake Obama. Shout out to Tires. I got that from her. Um, who else? Mississippi is Crooked Letter, and I think that's in Pastor Woodbine. I call her Pastor Thief. I think that's all I can think of for right now. So if you're confused, just run this back and I'll catch you up. But Fall was sitting there looking like Marcus Houston when he had that clear suit on at one point. And the car wash services is $30 for a hand job. Detailing is $50, and if you want the Mercedes experience, it's $100. So the man tells her, make this car feel like a Mercedes. And she's like, "Do you want a receipt?" He said, "I don't need no evidence." And Suge Knight is like, "Smart man, thinking." And so, of course, Mercedes is still that girl. Performance was beautiful. I was mesmerized looking at her, and I was just like, the fact that your body can twirl and do all that, and just, whew, yes, Lord. So after her dance, like she's rubbing her shoulder, and I think Fall gives her some ice, and it's 5 months after murder. So it's like you should have been had that looked at by a doctor. And Fall tells her, I'm gonna schedule you an appointment. And she's like, I said I'm fine. She's like, well, you walk around with a fucked up shoulder then. Uh, and Mercedes checks her account and it's in the negative, like $100 or something. And she said, you sure you giving me all my Skrilla? And Fall was like, yeah, everybody gets equally paid around here. And Mercedes ain't having that. She's like, I do more than all you bitches up in here. You know, I should be getting the most money, and I don't understand why because I think they said they put all the money in the pot and then distribute it evenly. And Mercedes is like, no, I'm the main attraction. I'm the headliner in this bitch. I should be getting the most money. And it's just like, while that may be true, because I talked to Steph about this, and she was like, it is true. You know, people come to see Mercedes, and fine. But if you feel so strongly like you just the best thing since sliced bread, take that shit to Miami or take it to Atlanta. Cause you're never getting Terica back. So you might as well go ahead and take your talents to South Beach. And so she almost gets into a fight with Toy because during her argument, she was like, there's no way. And she was like, why is Toy even getting paid? You know, she can't do half the shit I do. And I forgot who said it, but somebody was like, basically, they do the same thing. And she was like, what Toy do and what I do cannot be classified as the same thing. Um, So then, like, somebody turns their attention to the TV, like, oh, look, look, look. And it's a music video with Murda and Crooked Letter. And, you know, they doing their thing. And Uncle Cooper said, what's her name? Her real name, Keyshawn. But not never cross my screen, my dope, none of that. And he says, Uncle Clifford's rule 45.22, leave your baby daddy drama at home. And then it's some girl standing there with her baby, and he like, you better not have no drama. She said, I don't even know who his daddy is. I said, girl, you could have kept that to yourself, baby. We did not need to know that. Um, so he makes it back to the office, and Suge Knight and Fall are standing there looking at a rejection letter for a relief loan because they're not deemed as essential. And it's like, strip club not essential? Like, I get it if you want to be technical, but it's like, no, we need strip club. Can't let that go. Um, so Fall asks Uncle Clifford how much money is left, and Suge Knight tells her 25K. And she's like, 25K? How is that possible? I handed you $250,000. And it's like, so we just don't imagine when TLC went on the radio and ran down like how all their money was spent and why they ain't got none of it. Imagine that, because Uncle Cliff was like, "Well, we had to pay for this, we had to pay for this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and when you get down to it, ain't nothing left but 25K. So that other 225 is gone." Um, but then they go back outside because they hear yelling and screaming, and they think somebody's fighting, but they're actually celebrating because next week they're coming off a lockdown. So it's time for the grand open. No, what is it? Open. I think I got it right. I don't know. It was too many reads. Um, Mayor Goddaddy died from COVID, and I was just like, okay, I saw it from the first season, not COVID, but I was like, he's not gonna be on here very long. They're gonna make him die from something. Um, so Faith Obama's wife is a, I was gonna call that woman a nurse, and she is a doctor. Um, and she has to see and deal with COVID every day. And we get this scene of her taking off her mask when she arrives at home, and her face, like all of this is marked up from the mask. And that's how it was at the very beginning of COVID, you know, because you can't take your mask off nowhere. You couldn't really be outside. But anyway, she's coming home like after a long day, and she checked her fridge, and her almond milk ain't in there. So she yells up the stairs to fake Obama, and he ain't paying her no attention, don't answer back nothing. So she has to come upstairs. And when she does, he turns around like, whoa, what you doing up here? But it's like, nigga, if you would answer me when I call you, I wouldn't be up here. I'm not trying to, pass this on to you, nothing like that. She's like, you done stacked my fridge. And he's like, oh, I forgot. But then you see him sitting there doing nothing but playing that game. And then in the kitchen, the counters are lined. It is filthy in there. And what she was too calm for me. She was way too fucking calm for me. Cause I'd have been like, so not only do you not stock my fridge, you ain't did nothing all day. And look at this fucking house. You can at least clean up if you gonna be in this bitch all day. Like ain't no way. But she was just like, what have you been doing all day? And he ain't been doing nothing but playing that damn game. Um, so she's like, I've been calling you, texting you, and she picks up his phone and it's like, so have a lot of other people. And who is Haley? And when he hears Haley, like, he's a runner, he's a track star, nigga zooms over there to snatch his phone up out her hand. And I was just like, you might as well just say, she's the one I want. I don't want you no more because you're too obvious with it. Um, but he's getting calls and people letting him know about his goddaddy passing, and he calls somebody back. I forgot her name. Um, and he's like, I thought he was getting better, but obviously not because the man is dead. And he's like, oh yeah, of course, I'll go down there. And the whole time he's talking, his wife is like, um, Andre, no, and no, like you can't do it. And to the point where she's like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I'll call you back. And she's like, do you not understand how serious this COVID thing is? Like, you cannot go down there and be around people that you don't know. Like, even your family, like you don't know where they've been, what they've been doing. Like, no, you can't go. But he compromises with her, and of course he's going down there. You can't keep that man from Mississippi. Um, so Murda is still working with nephew Never Scared, and they got a little song going, and it was good until there was like banging on, excuse me, Murda's door, and there's somebody there to cop some weed, and then while he's standing on the porch, somebody slow creeping past, and it's just like, so he put his hand to hit where his gun is in the back, like, you know, what we doing? But the person in the passenger seat is like, when you gonna drop some more music, the streets need that. And he like, it's on the way. I'm working on it. But then he sees the guy that used to be his friend who asked he whooped in the first season when he said, what is that? I heard you, everybody, something. I forgot what it was. Um, so he in the back, like looking at him like you want to do something. But it's like, boy, you ain't gonna do shit. You got your ass whooped. Um, so Crookaletta runs into Fake Drake at the dollar store because she had Pampers, but she like threw some of them away to convince Derek to let her go to the store. And she didn't know he was gonna be there. But when she sees him, she tries to talk to him and apologize and says, everything was just so crazy that night. Um, but she ain't got no mask on, so he like, where your mask? And she's like, I'm just trying to get such and such. And I only need. And he's like, I can't let you in the store without this mask. And he is literally deboing niggas away from the door if they do not have a mask. And she's just still trying to talk. And he's like, Keyshawn, I said take your ass. Like, it's a little forceful, but he never raises his voice, like, kind of above the tone that I'm talking to. It's just like, I said get your ass out of here. And I don't want to talk. And she tries to return the necklace that he gave her last season. He's like, why would I want something that don't work? You can keep it. Uh, oh, Corbin, I call him Whip Boy. That's another name. Um, Whip Boy leaves money on the steps of Mayor Goddaddy's house, and it's like, that's for you to work for me, for you to get old girl to sell, which is Fall, because he's like, Uncle Clifford ain't gonna sell, but you can convince the new owner to sell. And so it's just like, I don't know how y'all thought that was gonna work, but whatever. So Fall and Mercedes are watching my favorite movie, which turns out to be Paul's favorite movie as well, I guess. What's love got to do with it? And it's at her favorite part. Mercedes is like scrolling through IG and she's like, put the phone down. This the best part. And she's like, girl, do you know how many times we done seen this damn movie? Like it ain't that important. Cause it's the scene where, anime finally fights back in the back of the thing. Um, and she's literally quoting the movie like, that's all you got. You can't do no better than that. And it's like, girl, the man dead. Like you got your revenge. Relax. Um, but as Mercedes is scrolling through IG, she sees auditions for the Pynk. And she literally throws her cell phone at the wall next to Fall. And she's like, what the fuck is your problem? And she's like, bitch, I already told you, do not do this. We don't need no more girls at the paint. I could whip the girls that are there already into shape. Why are you bringing in new people? And we already got to split up the pot. So that's even less money that I'm going to be making. And she's like, um, I'm trying to take some of the stress off of you. And actually, if we have more girls coming in, that's more money to be made. And Mercedes don't see it that way. She just feels betrayed. And she's like, yes, boss, is this the is and I was like, Slave, like they had an accent and they had a tone, but it was not that. And you doing a yes, and I was just like, please. And every time Paul said something to her, I'm like, that don't mean she automatically like trying to be above you or something like that. I'm like, I'm so tired of that light skin means they right and they trying to be above. But I said it is the South, so I'm gonna let it go. Um, so Murder, he had called Crooked Letter to do a tour. He's like, I want to go on tour. Let's do a tour. And she's like, in a pandemic, who gonna come outside? So nah, but you can't run me my money that you owe me though. And he's like, yeah, I'll pay you. Anyway, he gets a text from her at the end saying, let's call it the Dirty Dozen Tour, 12 cities, 12 nights. And so he's looking at himself, he's like, I'm finally gonna do this shit. Like I'm about to make it happen. Because I forgot to mention, Kirkland, like she's still dancing, but it's like on her IG live in a room in her house. And Derek tells her, because she's like, I can get back out there, now that it's coming off lockdown. And he's like, no, that room right there is all you need. And I said, oh, that was the worst part. Like, of course, COVID, how serious it is and what it can do to you and all that type of stuff. When it first happened, that's all I could think about. I'm like, all the people, not just women, like people who are abused by their partners, you are now stuck in the house with that person if your job was not deemed essential. But, you know, she like, look, I'm getting about this bitch. But yeah, that is episode one. I hope you guys enjoyed my review and come on back for some more. Give me some more. One, two, breaker. Three, four, breaker. Down in the valley where the girls can make it.